All right. So the sunrise is about 24 minutes from now, and it's just so gorgeous. I wanted to leave it running and show you. So this is Robert Foertsch with the Truth Network, a collaboration of truth tellers exposing the truth, and my contact information could be a very good starting point for you, if you like. So I just wanted to go ahead and mention I'm on multiple platforms linked with my name and phone number. And thanks for your public and private encouragement. Put a little bit more light there. Easier to see, probably. Spectacular. And then low tide is just about 2 minutes after the sunrise. People come from all over the place to enjoy the beauty and majesty of creation here. Got the water jug on the beach. Let's see, where are we with that? There we are. Kind of pretty. It's highly purified, carbon filtered, and then it will be solar activated. And I've got a copper pipe in there. It's about 1 foot long. It's a gallon jug. And there's a teaspoon of full spectrum sea salt in there as well. Because reverse osmosis will, the process, and carbon filtration removes the chemicals and elements, minerals from the water, and then I want to add just the healthy minerals, and that's what I do. It's a sea level liquid mirror. People reflect off of the wet sand and on their lives, past, present, future, hopes, dreams, fears, regrets. And how can we change when we, well, I'll own this personally. I was struggling with why did I have so much trouble stopping things that I believe I should do, because I wanted to do them. They were pleasurable for a little while, but as with many addictions, they can be very painful and destructive. So I've got expert documentary producers, movie producers in my research library. We get a lot of predictive programming in the movies and in the news as well. And then what is presented as fact or science may be more like science fiction. So one of the big ones, it's very polarizing. We live on a stationary level earth with a firmament above us, Genesis 1, and it's the observable reality. So the reason we don't feel ourselves spinning, wobbling, and gyrating at imaginary speeds, spectacular speeds supposedly, is because we're not moving. Or I should say the earth isn't moving. The water, the people, the information, the truth, the deception in this epic battle between good and evil. It's more than a battle, it's a war. It's been going on for quite some time. So I believe the biblical narrative is true, and Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, the life, the living word, the great I am. You may know him as Yahweh. And then there's a spiritual smorgasbord that people are dining on in and out of different religions, so to speak, or spiritual perspectives. So I really don't have any opinions as far as I can tell. I have beliefs that I've based on investigation, and I believe divine intervention to find the truth about what's really going on, and then to let others know about that. Because it matters for eternity. Where will you spend forever and why? See the mirror that is? Isn't that fascinating? So I add quite a bit of content throughout the day and night in the library. I've compiled, linked across my name and phone number. Wow, that's pretty big. This is at the point in Cherry Grove, South Carolina. The beach access there is 62nd Street North, also known as North Myrtle Beach. And North Carolina is about 2 miles away right there. The Cherry Grove Fishing Pier that I've done a lot of recording at is about 2 miles behind me, southwest of here. This beach is actually, there's south right over there, and west. We can see the shadow of the clouds in the atmosphere. Let me do one magnification. I think we get a little bit better. Let's see. That's pretty good. So with the wide variety of topics and the truth tellers and the deceivers alike in the library, I believe it's only by divine intervention that anybody is going to be able to figure this out in a meaningful way. So I believe that the most important reality is to recognize the need to be born of the Spirit, like Jesus talked about in the Gospel of John. And I have that movie in my library as well. A few different iterations. I've got a digital audio Bible merged with the beauty of creation out here, and other locations. Some are driving videos, driving around the country in some cases. So I'm going to zoom in on some people and fog a good distance away. So I have a really good working knowledge of the library I've compiled. So if you have any questions that you are not finding answers to in the library, you could give me a call if you like. And if you believe I've missed something or got it wrong, you could send me a link with supporting data if you like. And what I like to do is leverage the technology, the created and stored content that can explain why I've come to the conclusions and beliefs and hypotheses that I have. There are things that we can know for sure, and then there are things that, well, we can't necessarily know, however we can believe. And then there's what some would refer to like as blind faith, just naively believing what we're told. And that's largely, I believe, how we got here, or how I got here, is I trusted sources of information that were actually providing false information. Now, what complicates this matter is that quite often a very effective deceiver is someone that's deceived themselves. They don't know it. They may be a friend, family, trusted authority, so to speak. And largely, from what I understand, we believe what we want to believe. What ended up happening with me is that the Almighty gave me a desire to know the truth more than to be popular and accepted by more people. Our society is largely driven by the desire for approval and prosperity, and quite often truth, or I should say popularity and wealth, are conflated for truth, and it doesn't really work that way. The system of control uses truth and deception as primary weapons. The epic battle between good and evil is spiritual in nature, the Almighty and then the fallen one and the representative families. That being said, there are actual spiritual entities that can manipulate people, and technology that can also manipulate people and more. Brain-computer interface technology, supercomputers linked with humanity and birds and bugs through the Wi-Fi, cellular, Starlink. And then apparently our brain puts off, in our body, puts off a biofield. So when we have a smart device like a smartphone or a computer that's connected to the internet through Wi-Fi, cellular, satellite, however it's connected, we can access this information. Well, about a decade ago, I wanted to know if those signals were able to access me and others. And the answer I found out is yes. Apparently, that's what has happened, is powerful technology to manipulate the masses, to alter beliefs, perspectives, emotions, and I have documentaries covering that. So they're fishing. I'm fishing too, fisher of men. And that's what Jesus talked about. He offered the opportunity to follow me and I will make you fishers of men, the disciples. And the short version of what happened with me, I I thought I was born again in 1982 when I came to believe that the Bible was true, until I actually was born of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, in 2014. And the change in me was so significant that I wanted to let others know that it can happen. Even though I was involved in full-time ministry and a homeschooling dad, and helping to build a megachurch and leading character development classes and all that. Christ the Rock Community Church in Menasha, and then Rawhide Boys Ranch in New London, Wisconsin, now known as Rawhide Youth Services. All that being said, what I found out is I was, as best I could at the time, I didn't know I wasn't born again yet. I was giving her all she's got. I needed more power, a lot more power, and a new heart, and he gave me that. So the wonderful thing is now I have a passion, purpose, eternal perspective, and the power to do what I previously could not do in my own strength, and I'm able to live out what I believe my purpose is. He prepared in advance good works for us to do. That's what His Word says. If you believe I've got the theology wrong, or the Bible wrong, or the world wrong, like if you believe I'm deceived, here's the irony about all this. When people are deceived about a topic, and I'll include myself in that, because I'm a people, and what happened when I heard something that sounded off or weird, I thought the person that believed it was wrong and deceived. And I found out that it was me who was deceived. So I've been in the process of trading in comfortable lies for uncomfortable truth. It's been going on for a while now. So the water seeks level. There's aerodynamics, hydrodynamics, fluid dynamics. Spectacular. Look at it. So there's different terminology referring to topics such as load balancing electrically, as we're dealing with biofields. Like, for example, that may sound weird to you, but I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit. Like, if somebody gives you a bad vibe, like you think they're angry or they mean harm, that may be accurate. That may be true. It's important to know. Situational awareness is very important, I would say. And the more important the question, I believe the more important an accurate answer is. So with all the contradictory perspectives, they can't all be correct. In fact, they're all wrong except the accurate one, the one that's actually true. And that is why the truth matters. So I have a practice a way of doing things where I try and do it as best I can. I want to obey. I want to do what I'm created to do. And I don't want to be distracted by my own self-effort or self-pleasure or operating in my own strength. So there's all kinds of, I believe accurate biblical teaching in the library I've compiled for you to consider on core foundational issues of life, like where did we come from, who's in charge, what are we doing here, all of that. Those foundational beliefs are very polarizing, so when we're presented with new information that challenges all that, there's a term called cognitive dissonance, when that new information contradicts what we believe to be true. And then what do we do with that? A lot of times it's convenient for people to say, well, that's a crazy guy or girl or person. And a desire to know the truth more than be popular and or accepted is really important. And I believe that love for the truth is a gift from the Almighty, a gift from God. So in all of this, as the tide is going out, higher is drier and lighter colored, and lower is wetter, all over the face of the stationary and level Earth. So you could take a very sophisticated laser level or a glass of water and fine level. Or there's liquid levels, a spirit level of many different sizes. So today the sun is going to come up about here, and today it'll set right over there. Mentioned it yesterday. Now, in the winter, the sun will come up way out here, and then the path it's going to go is like that. Lower from relative perspective is further away. You can see a light over there. See that boat? That zoomed in only 24 times. Imagine the Nikon P1000, I can zoom in 125 times. See the symmetry of the liquid mirror? Any moment the sun is going to burn through. And then I'll zoom in and take a look at that. This isn't going to be a marathon video. I just wanted to start early enough to show the beauty of this out here. And then later on today, there it is, right there. I'm not going to set it down because even setting it down will interrupt the view somewhat. I'm going to try that. I'll try setting it up like that. There we go. So right out at this location, I have a video that's referred to, the title is #LocalSun. And there's other terms in the title, stationary level Earth. The sun appears to have clouds all around it, in front and behind. You can look at it. It's 2 minutes and 23 seconds long. Now the video I shot of the sunset, the local sun video of the sunset, has over 1 million views and a variety of different iterations, venues, different Facebook groups, different shares, that type of thing. Sorry for all the movement there. I wanted to get it a little more steady. And what ended up happening with me in this research was I found out that there were a lot of other topics other than what many refer to as the flat earth or biblical cosmology, the stationary level earth, that's also accurate. It's an observable reality. We're not spinning 1,000 miles an hour, and then there's other contradictory movements we can't feel either. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom on out. Let's do it quick. Watch this. Wow, how about that? And one of the challenges online is that the recommended videos is that's a form of censorship. We all apparently get our own search results, not only for YouTube videos, but when we use the search engine, they're going to be in an order. There's going to be rankings and all that. Now, here we can see the reflection of the sun there on that. And then one bird has some food and the other birds are chasing after them. It's like, get your own. I don't know that I could, it's too hard to zoom in on them. I've done it before when they're doing that. Oh, nice. So I've been out here to see weddings, memorials, dedications, engagement, and graduation photos. By memorials, I mean I'll see them out here sometimes spreading ashes and flowers, releasing lanterns and going off. So that's why I say when people are reflective, they reflect off of the water and then off of their lives. Or I include myself, I'm very reflective. And I want to help people make better choices on what I believe the reality is. That it is very important to know what's really going on. Because if none of this mattered, then, well, I would find something else to do. However, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy seeking the truth and then exposing the truth. I believe I've found the ultimate truth, and he helps me to find other relevant truth about the battle we're in and what we can do about it. A lot of it is going to be our own individual choices what we decide to do. In other words, if newer vehicles or maybe can take the place of having a single income family, if you can do that, some people can't. A lot of people can't do that. They've made it the system of control, the world government has found a way to create money out of thin air and charge outrageous interest for it funding both sides of, or all the different aspects of war, and we've got a worldwide war-based economy. And you can listen to the videos that explain how that actually works. It works well for those that want to enslave humanity and reduce the population and have people in fear, and then the militaries of the world experiment on their soldiers, and now we've got autonomous weapons that are extremely destructive to human life. And there's an alignment problem with resources. The artificial intelligence and humanity is relying on energy, electricity, and other forms of energy to power the systems and for us to live in a climate-controlled environment. And we need water. Good, clean water is better. If you can get a water desalinator and you live close to the ocean, I would recommend it. I got a portable one from Amazon. This is a non-compensated endorsement. A portable Pure Well water desalinator. You can check it out. And so I'm not anti-Amazon. It's the direction things are going, and I would encourage you to get what resources you believe you're going to need on hand, because there may come a time soon where you're not able to. So seeds and dirt and stored food to help survive until we can grow plants that we can eat. We can get direct energy from the sun, and then indirect energy from the sun through the foods. So I've got health and and we can get oxygen and very important nutrition from water and healthy elements that are in a full spectrum sea salt, electrolytes that help our body electric operate optimally. Body in motion tends to stay in motion. That is healthy. Jogging or walking, surfing. I'll be out surfing later again. That works good. And then, of course, grounding. Being grounded makes a difference, earthing, and then I do that when I'm bathing as well. I've got a ground wire running into my bathtub through my electrical system of the house. It's safe and effective, literally, truly, if you do it right. The ground wire is just like sticking it in the dirt, but using the electrical system to do it. Because a lot of the modern construction is connected with insulated PVC and composite plumbing and fixtures, where it used to be copper and porcelain, galvanized steel. So the Earthing documentary covers some of the benefits of that, a lot of them. And so I've found out personally that I get a lot of energy from the sun and the salt water being out here. And that salt water in my jug has, like I say, the healthy electrolytes, and the body electric, when it's not overfed, does even better, in that the mitochondria is more generating more power, more energy when it's not overwhelmed by too much food. And that what is too much depends on the individual, the body composition, how much muscle versus how much non-muscle or fat. There's a lot of variables, so I have a lot of many highly respected nutritionalists, doctors, neurosurgeons, cardiologists, and then people that are experts in the field of artificial intelligence, robotics, and then there are, just such a wide variety of subjects that are actually rather important to know the truth about, and by very nature, when that's the case, they're polarizing, and they get upset when people believe different than them. It can happen. So I don't have the ability or responsibility to cause people to believe differently. It's out of my wheelhouse, out of my control. So because of the contour of the beach, the waves, the wind, the fluid dynamics, and the tide, now it'll fill up this area a bit, and then it'll go out, and then it'll come in. It just moves all around and changes the fluid pathways, and then the texture of the beach. It works well. It's cleaning the water and adding humidity to the atmosphere. And there is weather modification technology worldwide. Oh, puppies. He was out here yesterday, a happy one. See the tail? Happy dog. I think he was in a little over his head, maybe. Oh, cool. Yep, he got the ball. He's pretty determined about that. So the walking the dogs out here and there's a lot of rescue dogs. It's a great way for social interaction. For them and the people, the puppies and the people. When I did high zoom photography and videography with the P900 and P1000, I'm able to hold the camera tight to my face and steady that, so it can look really cool that way. It's a lot tougher when I'm doing this the way that I am. I'm trying to keep it from moving too much, but it's not so easy. There are some image stabilization features with the digital processing that the iPhone will do. It's an iPhone 17 Pro Max. I wanted to get the best tool I could to show this reality to everybody I can. And it's not just the videos that I do. Like I say, it's the collaboration, the working together, the Truth Network, seeking and exposing the truth worldwide, around the clock, around the world, around the clock. So some of the people in the library have been terminated, some permanently, but even as I say that, permanent as in their body stopped working. However, there's a digital presence of them. So like in the simulation hypotheses where people are talking about, like Elon Musk has said, it's 1 in billions that we're in a base reality. And I would say, I believe we are in a base reality and a simulation. And it's different for everybody. There's different responsibilities in this. For those of us that are born of the Holy Spirit, we have, I believe, a responsibility to live out our purpose. So in the philosophical discussion and the biblical proclamation and reality, there's quite a bit of, how would I say, heated debate over free will and God's sovereignty. I've got videos that go into great depth about that. I lean heavily on God being the Almighty God being all powerful and all knowing, directing and protecting His children. So the banner, the surfboard, and the car, and me out here doing this can create curiosity in people to look further. And that curiosity is a catalyst for learning new information that is life transformative, potentially. It has been for me. Alrighty, so there you go. I believe I'm going to close this out for now and say thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. Feel free to reach out anytime you like.